All right, guys, what day is it?
Halloween!
Woo! You excited for trick-or-treating?
Yeah!
All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Bye!
All right, guys. Dude, this video is it's obviously on Halloween, and I just got done with the workout, wanted to talk about and share with you, you never know where inspiration's gonna come from. And so this is a little crazy because it's the hardest time of day to do this with people coming home from work and driving everywhere. So, Caleb, please go. So, it's a little chaos here. Guys, here's the deal. The other day I was walking, I had gone up to Starbucks, and I don't go there. I was going there for my wife. I was basically running a bunch of errands around, and I was in the Starbucks line, and I got really inspired. And I want you to realize, as you're paying attention at the very end of this video, you never know where these things are going to happen at. I had no intentions of walking into a Starbucks, of all places that I don't ever go into, and to be inspired waiting for the drink to come out. And so what happened was, I was sitting there, so there was I'm sure most of you guys know what Starbucks is. I'm pretty new to that environment because I've never been into caffeine, except for a little stint where it was like a rock star a couple of years there. And so there was a group of 4 people in one corner studying. There was another group, and by the way, so I'm grounding, if you guys can see it. Hopefully I do the camera right. So I don't get very good grounding on the cement here, but we're gonna go over to some cool little grass over here. So there's a group studying over in the corner, and then there's another like a college guy that he's studying, and he has papers all over, and he has his Mac sitting right in the middle. And then there's another older gentleman, and then there's some way over in the corner. I think they were just waiting for a drink or something. And I started paying attention more to everybody around me as I'm waiting for the drink, and I was super tired because I ran a very fast 5K that day, so I just wanted to sit down somewhere. So I go to sit down, and I'm paying attention. I'm sitting right by at the table next to the guy with his paper spread out. I'm assuming he was in college or something. And I started looking at the papers a little close, not getting too close, but I could tell he was doing chemistry. He had a few little molecular structures on some of the papers. And I just saw him, he had his headphones plugged in, and he was diligently working on getting, I'm assuming what was a homework or some kind of project done or something like that. And that was what was inspiring to me. And I know that probably sounds a little weird, or it might sound weird, but as you're imagining a guy sitting there doing homework, how could that be inspiring to you? And maybe it's that you always wanted to go to college, or maybe you did graduate like me, almost with honors, and you're, remembering what it was like to do homework and study for papers and things. What was really inspirational for me was seeing how focused this guy was. He actually didn't even it was as if he didn't know anybody was even around. He's completely focused on getting his work done while he was there. And I started to look at my life and my business, and I absolutely go into these, tunnels where I'm just cranking out work and getting the project, the homework or whatever it is done. But I just realized there hasn't been enough of that. There hasn't been enough. It's not that there hasn't been enough of it. It's that it hasn't been enough of the right activities of what I call power hours. And that would be focusing for like an entire block, it's not quite an hour, 55 minutes or so. And I'm not going to go in, actually I will explain the whole power hour. So I've trained people around this before, but I made it a little bit better the other couple weekends ago. I was at an event, and a gentleman named Tim Francis, I learned this from, and Perry Marshall was there. And so what I used to teach was, you set a timer for like 55 minutes, you go for it, and as soon as the 50 minutes, is done, then you're done with the work, and the timer goes off, and it's kind of like a check-in, and you kind of check in, you're like, ow, hold on, there's like a million little sticky things in this, we're gonna turn back. So you check in with the 50 minutes, and it makes you very, very efficient because your brain cannot focus for more than 45 to 90 minutes, even if you're fully trained. And so wherever you're at, 50 minutes is basically towards the lower end. So all of it, it's within our most focused attention span. So set the timer for 50 minutes, you crank, and when it goes off, you basically what I've taught people, you go fill up your water, you do a little bit of oxygenation for a couple minutes, you stretch real quick or whatever, do some downward dog, some yoga or something real quick, and then you go back and you do another 50-minute chunk. Dude, you do that a handful of times a day and you're gonna be more efficient than most people who work like 80 hours a week. And far more efficient, by the way. So the little cool thing on that was doing a group accountability with that and checking in at the very beginning of the hour. Here's exactly what I'm gonna do, and here's the most ideal thing I can do that's gonna be the most profitable or the most productive or the most whatever activity of whatever you're trying to do. And then you sit down, you crank that for the next 55 minutes. Ow. Now that hurts, dude. Ow, ow, ow. Hold on. So I'll keep talking to you guys as I pull this sticker out of my foot. So you crank that for 55 minutes, and then at the end of the hour, if you had a group, you would check in with them. But if you didn't have a group, you just do this with yourself, and you check in and you say, on a scale of 0 to 10, how do I rate myself? How well did I do this activity? And then right after that, and as we're winding down this video, you're gonna see how this gentleman in the Starbucks made me realize just one single power hour a day changes everything. It probably quadruples to 10 times my current income, which is significant. I'm not gonna talk about incomes here, but there's a reason why I get to run all the time and train for, half marathons and races and whatever the heck I wanna do, and travel the world and go to all these events all over the place and take my family out all the time and just basically do whatever we wanna do. And I'm talking about significantly multiplying that income. And you can do the same thing. And I want you to borrow, I want you to model, I want you to flat out steal. However you want to frame it in your mind that makes you take action on it, that's what I want you to do with this. So you get the end of the hour, you rate yourself 0 to 10. How well did I focus on my activity? So if you got distracted by a bunch of emails, let's say you got distracted by Facebook message came up, which you should never have your messages up to interrupt you ever, but let's just say you're one of the 99% of people that do have those notifications enabled, that it interrupts you, you get trapped in Facebook, your timer goes off and you're like, dude, I just spent the whole time on Facebook and I was supposed to be writing copy or doing my video or doing the advertising or calling prospects or whatever you're supposed to be doing. So you would probably get close to a 0 if you did no work on it, right? But if you were crushing it the whole 55 minutes, you weren't distracted, all your notifications turned down, your phone is like down in another room, you don't even know what's happening, a nuclear bomb goes off next door and you just kept cranking right through it, you'd probably give yourself a 10. So that's the first question at the end of the 55 minutes. The second question is, did I choose the very best activity for, and then what's your outcome? What are you trying to do? Your most efficient thing, your most highest income producing activity, the thing that's gonna move you the most right now towards the outcome you're going for. So you rate those two things, and then you look at that, and then you adjust it for the next time you do that. You could do that an hour a day and change your life completely. So what I realized, what had happened is that the gentleman reminded me, and he's sitting down there, and there's one specific business activity that I actually did all this work. I modeled all these people, I interviewed them, I literally documented the whole thing, like dozens and dozens of steps, and I got it down to the T. Then a few weekends ago, I actually handed it off to a room full of, was there 25? Yeah, about 25 people or so. And here's what's crazy. I invented the majority of this whole, like 95% of this process, and I handed it off to someone to finish up the last few steps. And now I'm teaching people in this room and they're taking action on that. And it only takes an hour a day. There's actually a gentleman who I learned this from. He literally spends an hour a day, and he takes that hour, he just bought a home in Costa Rica with it. He's made multiple 6 figures in the last year and a half with just 1 hour a day. He gets off of his other business activities, 5 p.m., He makes himself a cocktail. I don't drink. You can drink whatever you want. He makes himself a drink at 5. He does this between 5 and 6 every day relentlessly. He just gets on his laptop with his drink and just chills out there for an hour. Gets 4 sites done every day, and he made multiple 6 figures doing it in 1 hour a day. Can you imagine? So a multi 6-figure income in 1 hour a day. So can you imagine over the next year spending 365 hours, let's say you take weekends off, 300-ish hours, and you create multi 6 figures from one single hour. Could you squeeze that in? Most people can. I have things exactly like that right now, and I'm adding to the significant income, which it's very significant. And sorry, my kids and his friends and everybody's yelling over there. So I'm sharing all this because I'm multiplying that income, adding in another little hour a day. That what it does is work in conjunction with what I'm already doing and just makes things like go through the roof. Like the numbers are ridiculous. So 2 things here. Number 1, please borrow this idea, take it, steal it, model it, copy it, whatever you have to call it to go take action on it. And go do that power hour and go make it happen. Number 2, if you lack the belief you can even have, you don't know what to sell to make 6 figures, if you're fumbling around ClickBank and trying to sell whatever, you're in some random network marketing opportunity, whatever, you need to private message me, or you need to reply to this email and get back to me, because I can help you. I've helped thousands of people over the last 10 years to make their first profits online, and now I'm helping dozens of people get to their first 5-figure months. It's going to be 6-figure months within 6 months from now, and you're going to be sitting there continuing to get emails from me wondering what's happening. So I appreciate you guys. I want to help you with this, and that's it. So let's make this happen. Reply to the email or private message me on Facebook, and let's do this, guys.